Let's talk a little bit about your employer's proposals. Does everyone have your comparison sheets? Because I'll start at the top, and we'll work through most of their proposals so you can understand why all 7 local unions are recommending a no vote. First proposal is their health and welfare proposal. Currently, what is on the table, our actuaries have figured out that in order to keep your health and welfare plan as it is today, it would take another $1.53 an hour from your employers. They currently are proposing 65 cents. That's 88 cents apart. 65 cents that they are proposing would not keep your health and welfare as it is today. There would have to be tremendous changes, and they are proposing tremendous changes. I can tell you that if you were to accept your employer's current proposal, the health and welfare plan as you know it would no longer exist. As we've told you for the last 6 months, and by the way, in case you're counting, it's been 165 days since your contract expired. As we've told you, we have been spending down the reserves as we've tried to bargain. We had to vote again today. We had to vote again today to stop that bleeding. The money is down to about 3 months of reserves. We're spending about $11 million extra on a monthly basis. And in order to maintain your plan for the life of this next agreement, we have to stop that bleeding. So we have to get a turn down today. We'll get back with the employers. We'll try to finish off these negotiations and hopefully come back to you with a package that we can recommend and that you can accept. Wages. We made a proposal of wages 2 weeks ago, and the employer has not responded. They took the wage proposal across the table. They looked at us. They said, "Is there anything else?" And they left the room. It's 165 days since your contract expired, and your employers have not offered any wage increases. Not one penny. The third item down is management exclusions. They're proposing to add one more exclusion to each store. That's one more non-union person. Currently, the manager and assistant store manager are non-union. They're proposing to add one more of their choice, and what that always means is a department head. They will take the grocery department head, the meat department head, the deli department head. They'll pick a department head. And if you don't go along with it, if you say, "I don't want to leave the union," then they'll bust you down and they'll put somebody else in there. They're proposing to expand the general merchandise duties. And as everyone in this room knows, that just erodes the food clerk duties. As you erode the food clerk duties, there's no reason to promote anybody to food clerk anymore. GM can do everything, don't need food clerks. They've proposed to eliminate the 8-hour guarantee for meat cutters. Currently, if you're a general merchandise clerk and you work as a food clerk during the day, you have a minimum 2-hour guarantee. Their proposal is on the table to pay you by the minute. So if you're a general merchandise clerk and you work in the check stand and do grocery work for 10 minutes, they'll pay you for that 10 minutes. You will clock in and out every time you go over and do food clerk work. They're proposing for our courtesy clerks, who are the lowest paid members of our bargaining unit. They're proposing to take away their 50 cent per hour Sunday premium pay. 50 cents per hour for courtesy clerks. Now they're proposing to expand the courtesy clerks' duties so they can do more food clerk work, but they also want to take money away from them. These guys are really great. Well, that sounds like Ralph's, isn't it? Our people are great. Yeah. Well, that's what they think of you folks. Take away 50 cents for Sunday premium for courtesy clerks and expand their duties. They want to expand the clerks helpers. Currently, they can work 15% of the total hours in a store. Clerks helpers can work in the food clerk. Now they want to expand that to 25%. Not only do they want to expand that to 25% on every week of the year, but here's the 5 special weeks that they've chosen to expand it so they can work any number of hours. Super Bowl, Valentine's Day, Mother's Day, Thanksgiving, and Christmas. On those 5 weeks, courtesy clerks could literally do 100% of the food clerk work in the store on those 5 weeks. Here's another one that was still here from April. Any accident or any damage of product that you cause, that will automatically kick in for, you'll have a drug or alcohol test. So if you're straightening a shelf, if you're facing a shelf, if you're putting the product on the shelf and you drop a jar of mayonnaise and it breaks, you get drug tested. It's an accident that caused loss of product. You get drug tested. If while you're cleaning up that mess, you walk by and slip in it, you get drug tested. You slipped and fell, you get drug tested. I don't know where they're going to find the money to test for all these drugs, but I guarantee you'll be peeing a lot of bottles. Journeyman meat cutter on duty, their proposal is to eliminate that. Thanks to your vote in April, when you came out and gave us a resounding strike vote in April, that's what got us over the hump so we could get the pension done. We were also able to take off quite a bit of bad language. One of the things that you'll remember is they wanted you to be able to drive 40 miles instead of 25. That's gone. Some of the bad language that we had at that time that was on the table for health and welfare, when they wanted to increase your out-of-pocket maximums, that's gone. When they wanted to put your deductibles up front so you had to pay your deductibles before you could use your HRA money on the PPO, that's gone. There's still some very, very bad proposals, but some of those things are gone, and they're gone thanks to the strike vote that you gave us in April. But the one that we're most pleased about, particularly with the way Wall Street has been for the last couple of weeks, is your pension. We saved the golden 85, and we saved your current accrual rate because the employers wanted to take your accrual rate from the approximate $40 today down to $17. That is saved, that is done, that is complete, that is official, so your vote today does not change that. I know I gave you a quick overview of these things, and I'm sure that there are some questions, so there's a microphone right here in the center aisle. If you would please step forward and ask those questions, and we can get them answered for you.
We're voting on whether to accept what we just talked about or to deny it and then authorize a strike.
That's right.
But if we vote yes, we're not saying we'll take it. We're just saying go back to the table and keep negotiating.
No, if you vote yes, you're saying we'll take it.
I mean, it's set. The language is set in such a way to get people to get a strike vote. I mean,
yes, it is.
Okay, well, at least it wasn't a lie.
It's my understanding that we do not have a complete contract on the table at this point. Is that correct?
I don't know what you mean by a complete contract.
Well, in other words, all the points are not, they haven't made offers on all of our points like wages and...
That's correct. That's the perfection, yes.
Okay. I'm sorry. But, so my question is this. Why are we voting on the contract now when the complete offer is not on the table yet?
Because this is what is on the table. This is what the employers have on the table now, and they have not changed those proposals. They need something to move them to change these proposals. This is all that they're offering for you now. They can tell you in there, and I've seen all of the handouts for all three employers, well, this is not our last, best, and final offer. Well, I'm sure that it isn't. But why don't we have that after 165 days? You've got to force their hand, and that's what this vote is about.
Okay, so this
First of all, Ralph sent out a notice. I'm a receiver. Ralph sent out a notice, save pallets. I got called into the office on Monday. I was told to save the pallets because Ralph is going to close stores. They're going to pack up all their perishables and send it to...
Food for Less.
Oh, okay, Food for Less. I was told they're probably going to, like,
Kroger.
Okay. Anyhow, I was told they're going somewhere. Now that makes everybody concerned that Ralph's is going to close stores. And same rumor as in 2003, that we're going to close the stores, they're coming back as Kroger non-union.
Can't do that.
Okay. Next thing. If we vote no on this, like you're asking, you're going to go back and still negotiate?
Yes.
Okay. Do you know for how long of a period, or until you guys get fed up and say done?
Yes and yes. All of the locals are voting today, and 2 of the locals are voting today and tomorrow. So we won't have the total from all 7 locals until late tomorrow night. On Monday morning, we will notify Federal Mediation of what the vote count was. Federal Mediation will then get us back together, both sides. I would say most likely within a week. What we have already told Federal Mediation when we left bargaining on Wednesday night, we have told them that the next time we get together, it is our position that we are going to bargain to conclusion. If it takes us 5 days or 25 days, we are going to stay there and bargain to conclusion until we can either bring you something back to you or that you'll be on strike. Our desire is absolutely to bring a package back to you that we can recommend that you can accept. But we are not going to do the 3-day, 2-day, 3-day, 2-day thing that we've been doing for 165 days. Those days are over.
We also came out with a revised proposal for healthcare. Okay, they still want us to have biometric screening. I can't remember it.
There's a lot of proposals that are still on the table for healthcare. The biometric screening you talk about really is a Safeway proposal. That's something that they have in their non-union corporate plan. And without getting too technical, it's a series of tests, blood tests, blood pressure tests, cholesterol tests, a series of tests that you would have to have on an annual basis. And in order, if you have the PPO plan, in order to get your money, your HRA money that's up front to pay for your benefits, in order to get that, you'd have to pass these tests every year. It's like studying in class. And if you don't pass the test, you don't get the money. And their proposal is that by the third year, if you don't pass those tests, you don't get any money in your PPO plan.
For bonds, and I just would like to know, there's so many people out of work right now. If we go on strike, there's so many people waiting in lines for our jobs. So today we must have had 50 people coming in for applications for our jobs. If we do go on strike, how long do you think we're going to be out there? Do you think it's going to be a week? Do you think they're going to just leave us out there and just let those cheap people stay in our jobs at this point? I mean, there's a lot of people out of work right now, sir.
Yes, there are an awful lot of people. But somehow there's always a lot of people out of work.
I know, but more so than ever before.
Yes,
you see people with a job and there's like a line all the way around the building for one job. That's what's happening at our store. I saw 50 people today come in looking for, and they're not even sad about being scabs. They're just like, hey, where's the application? I don't even care. I mean, really.
Okay. Can I answer the question? Okay. And I'm not trying to be flip with the answer, but literally one thing has nothing to do with the other. The proposals that they've put on the table that are not acceptable has nothing to do with the number of people who came in and took applications in your company today. One really has nothing to do with the other. We are going to vote here on the package that's on the table. We are going to get back and try to bargain to a conclusion. If there is a strike, and that's always the worst case scenario, there's absolutely no way that I or anyone else I know of can predict the length. Who could have predicted? Who in their right minds could have predicted 141 days in 2003, 2004?
All I have to say is, last time I checked, we lived in America, and there was a middle class, okay? So let's not let these corporations get away with doing away with the middle class. We are the middle class people, okay?